about some material things and about the tobacco. And DJ explained to me why he was there on behalf of his nephew, who just graduated from boot camp a couple months ago. Now he's in his training. When they come home, we're going to use that song that I composed for him. And so between there was a whole lot of things that took place like that at my home. A lot of families came to my home. I was honored. And one of the things my dad said to me that you were gifted with a voice, gifted with a way to compose songs. And I'm grateful for that because of the fact that I think that was just passed on through my genes from my dad, Herman Grant. His name was mentioned earlier by my uncle here. I know what song he was talking about. So that's how things are today. I think it's just kind of genealogy, the way things happen, the way things are given to you. And when my brother Rudy Clark came to my home, he was explaining to me about the relationship that we have. And I knew that already. We used to refer to her as our Grandma Primo. She comes from the Ponca people. Her and her sister. Rudy comes from one sister, and my dad, Herman, comes from the other sister. So he comes from the Gizwater people too, as the Poncas. So I'm Ponca and Umo̐ho̐. But I'm rode up here and raised this way, which I'm honored to be part of the tribe, to carry on these traditions about these drums. You know, one of the things that we talked about in our meeting was, what about the other ones? What about the other people? What about the other song composers? You know, I can go back to just one, for instance. His name is Sihi Duba. Comes from the Gaxe people. The way things were done back then, when those men come home from a battlefield, they would go to the tent of war and ask the Hunger people permission to make a song for themselves. They made it themselves back then. And he would go on the hill and fast 4 days. Bring that song back to him and bring it back to the people. So when they had those war dances, then he would sing that song, one push-up, and pass it on to the singers, and he would dance and tell his story. You know, that's how far back we go to composers. You know, there's more. I just use that one for example. And today we still use that song in all of the Gaxe people, because the story behind that song is when he fought against the Sioux. He was a crippled man, and the Sioux attacked our camp while our menfolk were out on the buffalo hunt. And back then our people had all these mysterious things. They had that medicine. But this man held the Sioux, that war party, off basically by himself with a handful of elders and young men that stayed behind. What he did was he used his medicine on those Sioux, shoot his medicine at them. He told them, this is what I do in my everyday life. Common man, but I do have something to show. And today we still use that song. Wombly tamali te dum by God, wombly tamali te dum by God, wombly tamali te dum by God. See du ba weble te changi ka ki te mali te, wombly tamali te dum by God. It's a beautiful song that we still use today that comes from way back there. And the story that comes along with it makes you wonder and think how things were back then. But there were stories told from my father, Herman Grant, Grandpa, Henry Grant, World War I veteran. They were talking to my uncle Ed Esau about those things. My dad told him, I still remember that, my grandpa telling my dad that, well, my dad told us that things are going to change, that they're assimilated, while they want us to be white people. He didn't use the word assimilation, I'm pretty sure he did. But he said they want us to become white people and Christians. He saw our grandpas gave those things to the white men to put away for us. Because they don't want us young people, that he's referring to himself as Henry Grant, saying that we might not be able to use these things the way they used to use them because the world's changing too fast. Plus, the main thing is that it's outlawed. I remember them talking about that. I remember my dad and uncle and Esau saying, well, they're never going to take this drum from us or our music or our identity as Omaha people. No, they were saying that in our language and English. Now, unfortunately, I got a good memory. I could remember a young man working over here. His name, I was calling by a different name. See, I'm that way. I can remember all these songs. But yeah, if someone gives me a phone number that quick, I'll forget it. Somebody tells me their name, I can't remember it. For some reason, I got a memory that I can remember all these songs and different things. And as gentlemen here as head singers, they know that when you take care of that drum, you've got to know all of that. The first time I sat there, lucky. I grew up in this building right here. All the war dances, all the hangings that our people had, referring to Horsehead Lodge, Big Crazies, Minute Women, all those groups now are kind of gone, somewhat dormant. Even a Horsehead Lodge song was requested from me about 3 years ago through Tracy Nolan. I don't know it. Because somewhere along the line now, those people that should have shared with me are no longer here. And so I sat there and felt bad because, along with a lot of our other songs, our generation don't know them because they weren't passed on to us. Not even orally, not even at that drum. And it's unfortunate because the way that happens, Omahas have a way of doing things. If you want to know something, come to my home. Put something on my table and I'll share it with you. Some of those teachings that generation still had on to, we didn't appreciate. Today now, like I said, the Horsehead Lodge song is gone. Dickie Klein song is gone. That family asked me if I knew it. My Uncle Jacob composed it. I sang it with him once, not knowing that we'd probably never hear it again. Unfortunately, that's how things are today in my generation. But we still maintain a lot of those ways when it comes to that way. The appreciation songs, the prayer songs, the family songs, the clan songs. Even in the late 60s, you had to learn the Kiowa ways of doing things. Gourd dance. So to be a head singer, those of you out there that sat in that seat know it's really difficult. Because you have to remember all those things, all the songs that come through. Even though you have all the help out there. As a new Dohunga, you have to have that knowledge in case that man decides he couldn't remember his songs, you have to pick it up for him. And I'm glad that we have these ways as a head singer because